Hi, I'm DrummerMartijn. Welcome to lesson number 9 in my video drum lesson series, all based on my drum method book, Drummers of the Future. You can download the free trial PDF ebook so you can follow along with this course. Just check the download link in the video description. Well, this one is all about playing groupings of 5 and it's a fully packed episode, so let's go. Groupings of 5 are among my favorite things to play in drum fills and drum solos. And in this lesson I'm going to tell you everything you need to know on how to apply this in your own playing. Therefore, we have quite a lot of ground to cover. First, I will explain what a grouping of 5 actually means and how you can use it in a 1-bar 16th note drum fill. Secondly, we're going to look into some basic stickings and how to orchestrate them around the drum kit. We're going to talk about mixing up grouping sequences and how this will give us interesting new musical phrases. And we're going to expand all of this into playing 2-bar drum fills. And finally, we're going to explore various sticking variations by using accents and stroke combinations. If you want to jump to a certain chapter in this video drum lesson, you may want to use the time codes in the video description. This is a regular 1-bar 16th note snare drum fill counted as 1E and A, 2E and A, 3E and A, 4E and A. If we want to play groupings of 5 on top of it, the division will sound a bit different. More like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1. So within 1 bar we can play 3 groupings of 5 and then we have to add 1 extra note to make it to a full bar of 16 notes, because 3 times 5 plus 1 equals 16. Notice that although we're playing groupings of 5, we're not playing quintuplets. In this case, we're only applying groupings of 5 to a grid of 16 notes, playing 5/4, so to speak. If you want to know more about stickings, groupings, orchestrations, note value and how to apply them, you may want to check out my previous lesson, Everything You Need to Know About Groupings of 4. For the first exercise, let's take my favorite sticking when playing 5s, right, left, right, left, left. The notes with your right hand should be played as accents, the notes with your left hand should be played as ghost notes. I'm adding an extra bass drum at the end to make it to a full bar of 16 notes. Here's how that sounds on the snare. Now let's try some orchestrations around the drum kit. For now I will only orchestrate the accents with my right hand. All the ghost notes with my left hand will be played on the snare drum. Here are a couple of ideas played on 2 different tempos, 100 and 120 BPM. Now you've got the basics, let's try some other stickings. Remember, whatever sticking you'll come up with, as long as it's a grouping of 5, our musical phrase 3 times 5 plus 1 will stay the same. Here are some fun to play possibilities, and if you want even more, check out my lesson Groupings of 5 starting with your non-leading hand. So far, we've only played drum fills based on our 3 times 5 plus 1 phrasing. But we don't necessarily have to stick to that particular order to get a full bar of 16 notes. We can alter the order of the sequence but still keep the 1 bar phrase. For instance, we can mix up 5-5-5-1 into 5-5-1-5 or 5-1-5-5 or 1-5-5-5. Let's see how that sounds on 80 and 120 BPM. In this section of the lesson, we're going to expand our 1-bar fills into 2-bar fills. Longer groupings work very well in longer phrases, so here's when the fun really starts. Because we have now 2 bars of 16 notes in 4/4 time, we have a total of 32 notes, which means that we can play our grouping of 5 for 6 times before adding 2 extra notes to make it to the 1 of the next bar. Because 6 times 5 plus 2 equals 32. Let's pick up the sticking from the beginning, right, left, left, and let's see how that sounds in a 2-bar fill. Once again, you can change the order of the sequence, like we did in the 1-bar fills. For instance, you can also start with the 2 additional notes, or play them somewhere in the middle of your fill. Note that this system works for every grouping of 5, regardless of sticking. To show you the possibilities, here are some examples, and I'll throw in some alternative stickings as well. For the last part of this video lesson, let's get into some more advanced stuff, placing different accents within your sticking and using stroke combinations to get new creative patterns. In the previous exercises, we've mainly used full strokes for the accents and tap strokes for the ghost notes. But we can also incorporate downstrokes and upstrokes. To demonstrate, here's again the sticking right, left, left, but instead of the regular full tap, tap stroke combination, here are 4 different ways to play it. Note how the melody of the fill changes when the accents are placed on different notes. And this is also a good way to practice your stick control. If you would orchestrate the accents around the drum kit, it would sound something like this. And here's the same exercise as a 2-bar phrase. So, as you might have guessed already, everything we've discussed in this lesson can be applied to these accent variations as well. You can orchestrate around the kit. You can play a 1-bar fill, a 2-bar fill, a 4-bar fill. You can change the order of the sequence. You can mix everything up because there are so many options here that I'm still exploring it myself. To give you just an idea, here's a short drum solo in which I'll try to play as many variations as possible. Okay guys, that's all for now. Thanks for watching this video drum lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time. I'm DrummerMartijn. Bye bye.